Chants of "Where is Biden?" on the streets of Tampa, Florida. Protesters across that state marching in solidarity with the Cuban people who are rising up against years of communist oppression. Republican lawmakers also demanding President Biden rise to the moment.
I'm disappointed in the Biden administration. They have an opportunity to be a worldwide leader, to say we support the people of Cuba.
Whether it's the president of the United States, whether it's members of all the members of Congress, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, call it what it is. It is communism.
I would send a signal to the Cuban government that we're not going to sit on the sidelines as you destroy people in our backyard, and we need to give voice to freedom. President Biden, where are you when the people of Cuba need you the most?
Meanwhile, the Washington Examiner's editorial board says it's time for the president to stand up to his party's left. Quote, before this era of all-out leftism among Democrats, their party's politicians used to show proud anti-communist colors. Today, it takes more courage for Biden to do the right thing than it did for JFK. He must tell his party's radicals, people who still romanticize mass murders, such as Castro and Che Guevara, to pound sand. Liberty demands no less, end quote. John Kennedy, Republican senator from Louisiana. Good to see you today, Senator. First of all, I just want to get your top-line thoughts on what's playing out and how the White House fits in.
What's happening in Cuba is it's a contradiction for me. It's both beautiful, but it also disgusts me to my core. It's beautiful because what we're seeing is people's innate thirst for freedom. I mean, our desire for freedom is deeply seated. It's almost part of the human condition. And the Cuban people want their freedom. When Castro took over, he promised them freedom. Instead, he gave them socialism, which we now know, of course, is just trickle-down poverty. So that part is beautiful. And I think we ought to do everything we can to support the people, the good people of Cuba. What I find disgusting is the fact that all President Biden has done is issue a press release. That's it. I don't even know if he read the thing. President Biden needs to be on the telephone. He needs to be calling the leaders of the UK, of Canada, of New Zealand, of Australia, of India, of Japan, of South Korea, of the European Union, and saying, let's issue a joint statement supporting the people of Cuba. Let's talk about additional sanctions on the Castro government. We've got the Castro government down now. The people have. Let's choke them to death. President Biden ought to be using all of the cyber skills that exist in the United States of America to keep that internet open in Cuba so the whole world can watch and the Cuban people can talk to each other and try to reinforce their actions. Instead, Rubio said it best. I'm going to paraphrase. He said, I wish President Biden would spend 1/10 of the time helping the people of Cuba that he's spending spreading fairy tales to the American people when he says that the Texas voting rights statute is the worst thing that happened to America since the Civil War, in which 700,000 Americans were killed. It's a fairy tale. Either that, he's the only person in the Milky Way who believes that. Either that, wow, or he was playing Frisbee in the quad during History 101.
The Miami mayor, Francis Suarez, no doubt will have your reaction to this. He actually says bombing Cuba is an option that has to be explored. Watch this.
You had interventions by Democratic presidents, taking out Osama bin Laden in Pakistan, and President Clinton in Kosovo, intervening in a humanitarian issue with airstrikes. So there have been many opportunities in the history.
Are you suggesting airstrikes in Cuba?
What I'm suggesting is that option is one that has to be explored and cannot be just simply discarded as an option that is not on the table.
Senator Kennedy, your thoughts on that?
I don't agree with him. I don't think it's necessary to help the people of Cuba. I think the best way to help the people of Cuba is to marshal the freedom-loving sources across the world in all of the countries that support freedom, get together, hit the Castro government with additional sanctions and get that internet open. And never let up. Never let up. Don't just issue a press release. President Biden ought to be talking about it 3 times a day and twice on Sunday.
Senator, real quickly, normally we make it a binary choice. What's worse, staying silent or doing the wrong thing? We do know from the campaign trail that Joe Biden, then candidate, had talked about easing unilateral, some of them, sanctions. I mean, that way he might work with other countries. So which would you want him, to be silent, or are you concerned he might go down the wrong road if he
I want him to
something?
do something. I want him to get... I was going to say something I shouldn't. I want him to do something.
Say what's on your mind.
No, I'm not. Not this time. I want him... I want to see the world... Let me put it in generic terms. I want to see the leaders of the free world, not just America, but all freedom-loving countries, get up off their ice-cold, lazy butts and support the people of Cuba, not just with a press release, with sanctions, with their cyber skills, and do it repeatedly. Now, we've got the Castro government down. Let's choke them to death.
Got it. All right, we'll get to this. A small school district in California reportedly is planning to spend $40 million on teaching what they call ethnic studies to high school students, with consultants training teachers on the new curriculum at a cost of $1,500 an hour. It's the Hayward Unified School District. And in June, it became the first in the state to officially adopt that new curriculum, promising in a press release. So we're not guessing about this. They put it in writing. It will be informed by and include critical race theory. Democrats and many teachers deny CRT is actually being taught in our schools. $40 million to put it in Hayward. Senator.
In March of 2020, we gave California $2 billion for its elementary and secondary schools. That's $2,000 million to deal with coronavirus. Proper ventilations, keep from laying off teachers, offer summer school for kids. We didn't send that money to California to teach critical race theory. We didn't send that money to California to teach its kids that all white children are born bad and all African-American children are born without hope. We didn't send that money to California to teach its kids that America was wicked when it was founded, and it's even more wicked today, that it's racist to the core, because we're not. Should we teach in our schools about slavery? Yes. Should we teach about the Tulsa race riot? Yes. Should we teach about the Civil War? Yes. Should we teach our kids that America is fundamentally racist to the core? No. And no one in his right mind believes that.
Real quickly, military officials in Afghanistan are telling us they need... I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
Senator Kennedy, thank you. I'm going to let you go. Good to see you today. Thank you so very much. And thanks for taking that last topic on CRT, because that came onto our radar late today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.